NBC News has learned that police are indeed planning to search that particular residence sometime today. So exactly how would such an investigation work? Joining us now is Gil Alba. He's a former police detective who now works as a private investigator on high-profile cases similar to Chandra's. Let's start with the apartment search, first of all. Is that all right?
Go ahead.
Is there something you can tell us about what they might be looking for, or why they might be doing that particular search today?
Well, I'm sure they're looking for any DNA or anything that has to do with Chandra Levy. So any kind of information that you get from there
Doesn't it seem bizarre that they would be looking there today as a result of, 9 weeks ago when they first heard about this?
Well, first of all, he's not a suspect.
Right.
So therefore, they have to have his permission. And then they have to, first of all, know what they're investigating. Just to go over his house and check for stuff right away, I think the time element is right at this time to go over there and do the investigation.
But you know, many defense attorneys that we talk to say they're never suspects. You never want to come out and tell somebody that they're a suspect, because once you declare them a suspect, you're not going to get any cooperation from them, correct?
That's a possibility, a very, very big possibility. So therefore, once he is a suspect, he's going to be called in and being interviewed. His lawyer is going to say, well, I don't want him interviewed anymore, and then you're not going to be able to talk to him, or you're not going to be able to search his house, you're not going to be able to search his car, you're not going to be able to do anything anymore.
So they clam up, so to speak.
Yes.
And their attorneys tell them to.
Definitely.
Let's talk about the time element, if we can. How critical are those first moments after someone is missing for you as an investigator?
It's very critical to go out there immediately to try to get all the information. However, I feel comfortable doing a case, whether it's a week, a month, 2 months, 6 years, or whatever, you still can get a lot of information. So I say to the parents, I know it's tough for them at this time, but the police are doing a good job, and it takes time to do all this, and there's steps to take as an investigator. Each step is a small little step that you have to take. Unfortunately, the police department is a big bureaucracy. It takes time for them to investigate every little step. For them to jump in from one extreme to the other, saying she's missing, let's go after this Condit, that's a big step right there, and you're missing everything in between.
But I guess what I'm getting at is how much then could Congressman Condit's delay in admitting the intimate relationship, waiting that time period when he could have told him at the very beginning, how much could that have hampered the investigation or slowed it down at this point?
I really don't think it really slowed it down at all. I think, of course, if he had anything to do with Chandra Levy, I personally don't expect him to come and tell me or tell you that he did anything to her. So if I was interviewing him, my first thoughts would be, I'm sure he's not going to tell me the truth the first time. So what I want is for him to cooperate, and as many times as I can interview him, that's a possibility I can get as much information as possible. That first interview, you take with a grain of salt and say, give me as much knowledge as you have about this case, but I'm sure he's not going to tell the truth.
You've heard Abby Lowell, the attorney for Congressman Condit, somewhat blast members of the media, but yet most people in your situation usually welcome the media covering a story because it usually helps, doesn't it?
It helps big time, especially for the families. As a private investigator, helping the families, the media, the way they're on the case helps tremendously, and the family should keep going strong with the media.
Mr. Alba, thanks so much for being here and sharing with us your insight.
Okay, it was a pleasure.
I appreciate it. That's very kind. Also tonight, still ahead, we're going to get some of your responses about how things are going on the Gary Condit issue, in particular the possibility that there may be a search in Washington, D.C., and then later how the young victim of Shark's final moment, that was almost fatal, reacts. We'll have it for you right here on MSNBC Live.